Ali Abdaal makes over $1 million a month selling digital info products through his personal brand. In this video, I'm breaking down for you the exact process that he uses to see such results. And at the end, I'm going to give you some tangible takeaways that you can apply to your business from the processes that Ali Abdaal uses. So, getting straight into it. The three main pillars you need to establish to sell anything online is first, you need to generate attention, right? So this can be through content, this can be through ads. Now you need to take that attention into interest. And this is what a lot of people struggle with, especially the bigger creators. But Ali Abdal has an amazing system that he uses to turn attention into interest, which we'll be going over shortly, which makes him millions and millions of dollars a month. Now, the most important part, of course, is turning that interest into sales and revenue and cash in the bank, right? So we've established these three principles, and I'm going to break down Ali Abdal's processes with these three principles in mind. Now, he sells three main courses or programs: Lifestyle Business Academy, teaching people how to live a productive lifestyle; Life OS, which I guess is similar, but I guess in a more broad sense; and Part Time YouTube Academy, teaching people how to start YouTube channels. Now, go into the first pillar, which is attention. Ali Abdaal, boy, does he have a lot of it. He has probably over 10 million subscribers and followers across all platforms, 6.5 million on YouTube, 1.1 million on Instagram, 600K on his podcast channel, and about 200K on LinkedIn. So he's got a massive organic following, huge organic following, right? And the thing I see with a lot of big creators is they have a bunch of attention, but they struggle to turn that attention into dollars or cash in the bank, which is what I'll show you in just a second of how exactly Ali does it. But moving into his content strategy, right? He funnels a lot of people into his YouTube because YouTube is literally your best salesperson because all of these 30-minute videos, 1 hour videos, people don't know it, but they're literally watching video sales letters, right? What he's doing in these videos is he's covering two pillars, two main pillars he's covering, which is value and authority, right? These are the two main pillars that he's posting content across, which is allowing him to essentially nurture people into his programs. Now, as you can see here, 1 hour, 12-minute video on the proven reliable path to earn $1 million, how to start a business in 2026, etc., etc. When people watch these long form videos, they're essentially Ali's establishing himself as an authority, right? You're also getting free value from him, so you start to trust him more, right? And in a trust recession like today, trust is the key currency to seeing conversion, to turning people from viewers into buyers, right? So not only does he cover value and authority, he also is not a robot, so he covers the authenticity pillar as well. Smaller creators will have to focus a lot more on social proof, a lot more on different style of content and pillars. But because Ali is so big, he has a bunch of social proof. His brand is a social proof. He really only needs to post value and authority-based content so people actually trust him and know that he's the real deal in terms of what he does and preaches. Now, alongside his huge content machine and generating millions and millions of views a month, he's also running paid ads. And that's what makes Ali so dialed in. There's a lot of creators at Ali's level, they wouldn't see the reason or the necessity to even run ads. But because Ali's dialed in, he's running 94 ads currently on Meta, and he's also running ads on YouTube and Google, which I could have also shown you guys, but that would have been way too long because even taking these screenshots took a minute. So essentially, he's running a lot of retarget ads. So because his audience is so big and broad, he can run retarget ads, and obviously, retarget ads are directed to people who've already watched some of your content, depending if it's Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. And this allows him to see much better conversion because it's not directed to a cold audience. So the way he's actually used his retargeting ads are, for example, upsell. Upsells on his VIP page to his webinar, which he's been running recently, crash courses, $49 thumbnail packs, low ticket products, testimonials for his high ticket products, some more sort of mid ticket products here. So he's really dialed in his paid ad strategy, which just generates him even more and more attention on top of his content machine. So we've established the first pillar, right? Attention. Ali Abdal has a lot of attention, and this applies to anyone. If you're a coach or a business owner, you can post content, you can run ads. You might not be the level of Ali yet, but you can still use the same principles of getting attention in some way, shape, or form, using strategic organic content and also strategic paid advertising. Now, cool. Shafiq, we've got the attention, we've got the eyes. what does he do next to make $1 million plus a month? Now, this is the most important part of the process is converting this attention into interest and interest into cash. Now, I'll give you a key insight into the exact type of funnel that Ali uses, which is something like the tripwire funnel, or you could also call it the ascension funnel in other terms. So, the main goal of this funnel is to create the situation where for someone to sign up, someone to give you the email and essentially be part of your ecosystem is the lowest amount of friction as possible. So that could be a free lead magnet, a newsletter, which he does have, which I'll show you in a second. Now, essentially, what you can do with these emails is through very thorough and sort of direct email marketing, you can upsell these people into low ticket products, into then your main product, into then your high ticket product. And obviously, you have things like payment plans and whatnot. To accommodate for different type of buyers. But essentially, the reason why this is so good, especially for big audiences, the tripwire or the extension funnel are the most popular funnels amongst the big dogs and info who are making millions and millions of dollars a month and are doing it consistently because it brings consistency, it brings predictability, and also you own the asset. Once someone gives you their email, that is yours, right? You keep that separately. It's not an Instagram account, it's not a Facebook lead, which can get deleted, blocked, moved, forgotten, whatever. Emails you keep, and emails are the highest leverage thing you can use right now in your business to actually keep someone within your ecosystem, to keep nurturing them, giving them value, providing content, solving problems, which will then build trust and as a product of that lead into sales. So if you're not running emails and you're a business owner, please, if there's one thing you take away from this video, make a newsletter, farm emails, and use those emails to sell people on the back end. Now, going into funnels, as you can see here, Ali Abdaal has more than one funnel. As you can see, this is not his first rodeo. So it's probably about 10, 12 different landing pages here, selling all different types of products and freebies and lead magnets. Essentially, what he's doing, he's you've already watched a 30-minute video, you've signed up to his lead magnet. You're getting all this value, like, wow, Ali the guy, he's giving me all this value. I've got his GPT coach, which is showing me how to set goals. I've joined his sort of 7-day newsletter, which is showing me how to focus. Everything's going great, right? You're getting a lot of free value. You're getting nurtured by them. You're seeing Ali, Ali, Ali. It's all on your feed. It's all on your inbox. As you can see here, he's got a newsletter which is called Life Notes with more than 370,000 readers. 370,000 emails he can tap into in any given moment. That is the ultimate leverage, right? It's the reason why he can make as many sales as he does because he's able to sell people directly to their inbox. He doesn't have to pay for acquisition costs apart from running the email servers, etc. But you get the idea, right? He's owned that email, he owns the asset, and he can through direct strategy, he can utilize it to the best way where that can generate millions and millions of dollars a month. Now, Ali doesn't sell just one product. He obviously sells multiple different products, and that's because he has such a big audience that he can't accommodate for just one type of person. There's no one size fits all approach. Again, his generic sort of niche is productivity, so hence he sells YouTube coaching and life coaching, business coaching, etc. Because it targets people who have different interests within his viewership. He also has things like productivity challenges, which are an amazing way for people to interact with you and also builds further trust. And at the end of these, there'll be obviously hard CTAs to sell into their programs. And again, all you're doing is you're building familiarity, you're building trust, you're giving them value, you're solving problems for them, and obviously, as a way in return, you will see sales off the back of it. Now, another thing he does, which is pretty cool that I found out, he also has some sort of quiz funnel here where if you click on this button, you'll be prompted with a bunch of questions, which basically rank your YouTube channel and give you a score at the end. And obviously, off the back of it, you get entered into an email sequence and hard CTA at the end of it. He also has a book which people read. Um, Again, building value, building trust, building authority. These are all buying indicators that someone needs to have before they even buy anything from you. So again, he's just every single thing is moving the needle 1%, 1%, 1% further for them making a buying decision, right? Everything here is strategically placed. For example, these 7-day crash courses, these 7-day newsletters, actually something Ali got from Genflow. I don't know if you guys know of Genflow. It's one of the biggest sort of agencies that work with these creators and digital products. Fun fact, I myself work with Genflow personally, so I understand these systems to a much higher extent than maybe someone else looking at this externally. So essentially, with these 7-day emails, The way it works is, sorry, the way it works is it's a 7-day challenge or a free lead magnet, which they'll get value, value, value for a couple of days. For example, one day, day one, sorry, I might solve a problem, another problem, another problem, soft CTA, maybe a slight soft CTA. If day one, two, three, and four helped you out, you might find this resource helpful and it might take them to a separate landing page. They find more value, and then right here, you have your hard CTA, which is take them to a landing page, which I'll take you in just a second. Not only does he have a newsletter, a bunch of landing pages, he has two apps, the book that I went over, another bunch of resources. So the reason why Ali Abdaal is so successful in turning his eyeballs into interest is because his middle of funnel process is so dialed in. As you can see, he has an ecosystem here. You give him your email and you're in. Like he's not letting you go, right? You're getting hit from all different types of angles. He has many different type of products. So, if you're not interested in YouTube coaching, you might be interested in his lifestyle program. So that's the reason why he can do so well, is because he's built an ecosystem of products. For example, like the Apple Pencil and the iPad, they go hand in hand. His products go hand in hand, his lead magnets go hand in hand, right? So this is a perfectly curated ecosystem that he has here, which allows him to make millions and millions of dollars every single month. Cool. So obviously he pushes people through this via YouTube descriptions, Instagram bios, links in his YouTube community, podcasts, emails, etc., etc. You get the point. So he's getting a lot of traction, following people through into the middle of the funnel, and this is essentially where the ecosystem starts to begin. So this is one of his welcome emails for one of his newsletters. As you can see, it's like welcome. This is if it ends in junk, etc., etc. But also soft CTAs like this, check out that, check out this. Again, 1% of the way for them to make a buying decision, right? It's like almost death by a thousand cuts, but like sales made by a thousand emails type. If you get what I mean, I know that makes no sense, but hopefully um, you get the point. So essentially, on top of that is also retargeting ads. So once you're in his ecosystem, like he will know with his sort of audiences that this person, this email has signed up, they're interested in something from me. I'm going to retarget them with, for example, webinar ads and all these different types of ads which we saw before, upselling him on certain low ticket products. So now I'm in the ecosystem. Now what happens now? Well, I would have been in the ecosystem if I bought like a low ticket product, maybe 20, $30, or a free lead magnet, or I sign up to a newsletter. What's going to happen now is through very direct, concise email marketing, I'm going to be redirected through sequences to landing pages for his mid-ticket product. For example, for Life OS, let's say with that 7-day email sequence we were discussing before, on the seventh or the fourth day, I'll get redirected to this page right here. For example, this has prompted me to buy something for 297. Now, given I've just received 7 days of value, and for him, let's say he sold 7 problems of mine for free. The chance of me buying this for 297, again, it's mid-ticket, it's not that expensive, are significantly higher than if he just directed me straight through after a YouTube video. So this funnel does take time. You do need to give it some sort of period where people flow through the funnel. But because his throughput is so large, for example, a funnel, usually looks like this. But because his throughput is so large, right? Oh, sorry, I don't know why my pen is not working. Because his throughput is so large and he has so many different types of verticals of products, you know, this works for him the best, this exact funnel, because all he needs to do is post content, and over time, he knows that people will start to convert again and again. And the more content he posts, more people will start to flow in and in and in, and while these people trickle down. So it's just a never-ending loop, which I call the content flywheel ecosystem, which we'll go over in a second. But also not just for this product, but also for his part-time YouTuber Academy, for example. These are again his low ticket products, 295, etc. But it just doesn't end there. For example, once I buy these products, this is where the ascension funnel sort of comes in. I'll be prompted before I even check out to upsell into his mid-ticket program. So, for example, for Life OS, the 295 is the low ticket, and as soon as I check out, I'll be prompted to this page where I can pay 997 and receive everything from the mid-ticket and everything else that's included here. So again, it's a much better sort of value proposition. And at a point where someone's about to give you a dollar, if you give them more value, the chance of them paying you more for more value is significantly higher than if you're just another um, way of selling, and not only for Life OS, but also for part-time YouTuber Academy. As you can see here, the mid-ticket here, 995. Now, this is a very smart way of selling because you're not in anyone's face. You're only talking to people who've already shown interest, who've signed up to newsletters, who've bought your low-ticket programs. So Ali Abdaal is not seen as this course seller scammer. That's, people don't have that conception of him. Like people don't know he makes millions and millions of dollars through digital product sales. People see him as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, and obviously to protect his image. Course sellers don't have an amazing image, unfortunately, nowadays. He obviously sold this in a very smart way. He's still showing his offers in front of the right people, but he's doing it in a very meticulous way where it doesn't ruin his personal brand or his image. Because the main thing he does, he's not a course seller. Obviously, he makes millions from it. Um, but he obviously says he's a YouTuber and whatnot, but he definitely makes the most money from this. Now, after let's say you buy his mid-ticket, right? It doesn't end there. Ali Abdal, his main goal is to take the viewer. For example, this is a very bad eye, by the way. Take the viewer and turn you into cash. And the highest ticket program he sells is the part-time YouTuber Academy, which is for $5,000, right? And again, you'll never know this if you're just watching his YouTube video. This is only when you're deep into his funnel. And essentially, his main goal is to take these eyeballs and bring you as far down as the funnel as possible. Obviously, not everyone will get to this $5,000 stage, but he has a product and a stage for everyone. For example, here, if someone can only afford $49 for his whatever it may be, they pay that. But if they can afford more, they pay this. If they're interested and can afford more, and they pay this. So the reason why he can generate millions and millions of dollars is because the way he generates interest into cash with these systems, and he's built an ecosystem, is so dialed in, and it's every single step of the process is conducive for the viewer to turn into a buyer. Now, like I said before, I sort of hinted at this. The system that I like to call, which I coined myself, is the content flywheel ecosystem. Now, let's understand what a flywheel actually means. So, a flywheel, essentially, the main purpose of it is to increase momentum of a system. I didn't just, make this whole saying out my ass or out of thin air. I've actually meticulously thought of this. Now, every time he posts a piece of content, what happens is increase the momentum of his viewers buying something from him. Obviously, we know that, right? But the key to this is his ecosystem and his flywheel system work perfectly in harmony together for him to make so much money through um selling his info products and obviously the part-time YouTube Academy, the lifestyle and business OS, etc. etc. So this is how the big dogs operate. So they have content here, and all they do, the highest leverage thing they can focus on is content. Content, content, content. That's the only thing that they can do because it's infinitely leverageable. Once I post a piece of content, it's there forever. It can be viewed infinite of many times. And I have all of these links on the description on the back end. People are getting nurtured, more value, more trust, more authority, and everything is conducive for the viewer to become a buyer. Right? So content, content, content. And underneath content, I have all of my products. Excuse my writing, by the way, guys. Product one, two, three, and I have all these different funnels, which obviously should be getting shallower. And essentially, that's how the flywheel works. And again, it revolves around and around, around. Every time I post a piece of content, someone is getting further and further and further down this funnel until I've got dollars in the bank. So if you're a business owner watching this, the main key takeaways. And I know everyone is Ali Abdal. We don't all have millions and millions of subscribers and content teams and media buyers and everything like that. But the main thing that we can take away from this is one, emails are king. Right, guys? If you do not have an email sequence, please do get one. Selling through emails is very, very simple because all you need to do is build value and give soft CTAs, and people will buy. Like you will not know you won't know who will read your email at one given time. You forget about a lead. Maybe it's been years or months since you've last spoken to them, and they've seen an email from you. Like, you know what? I still have this problem. Why not? Let me jump on a call. Let me buy this product. You will be surprised with how many people you can convert through emails. Now, not only emails, but also lead magnets. Give a lot sorry guys, my pen. Give a lot more lead magnets, a lot more free value. And again, I know value is commoditized. Everyone is giving free value nowadays, but you have to build some level of trust and authority. Um, so if you don't have sort of the most trust and authority, what I'd recommend you to do as well is post a lot of authenticity content. At the start, Ali Abdaal in his sort of early journey, I was following him for a very long time. He posts a lot of things about his struggles as a doctor, how much he makes, very transparent, very authentic content. Authentic content, the pillar of authenticity, is the best way in today's sort of content economy to build trust because value is everywhere. Yes, it's important to give value, but you also balance it out through posting lead magnets and with authentic content. You should always post content on a level of pillars, but we won't get into that. That's a topic for another day. So if you're a coach, a business owner, consultant, whatever you are, these are some takeaways you can take from Ali Abdal's ecosystem, his whole process of making content. Yes, we all aspire to one day do the content flywheel ecosystem where all we need to do is post content and sales are being made again and again and again. We don't need a sales team, we don't need a closer, we don't need setters. But again, for that, we need to work our way up and build our brand and authority. Um, so yeah, and if you were a coach, consultant, agency owner, whoever was watching this, and you're stuck at a plateau at business, you're looking to get started in the info product space, I'll leave my calendar link in the description below where we can book in a 30-minute chat. We can audit your funnel, see where your bottlenecks are, and maybe I can give you a roadmap to see how you can solve your problems ahead. And even if we don't work together, you can still use that call as a level of clarity. I'll try my best to give you as much information as possible. And if you did enjoy the content, drop a like, subscribe. I'll be posting a lot more content and, you know, embodying becoming a YouTuber now. I plan to post a lot more content, a lot more breakdowns coming your way. If you did enjoy, please leave a comment as well. Let me know what can be improved or what type of content you guys want to see. And I'll see you in the next video.